This, Forestville's Class of 88 alum, played multiple positions in football and baseball. In baseball, he was the leadoff hitter with a good batting average. Talented enough to play any infield position, he mostly played third base or catcher. Football was equally rewarding. He played secondary, running back, kick return, and quarterback when needed. He received the Unsung Hero Trophy in football for his varied contributions. He has 2 master's degrees, an MA in Human Services and an MS in Information Assurance. Today, he is an information technology cybersecurity engineer. Give it up for Dennis Jenkins Jr., a.k.a. Bullet.
Okay, so our fellow Forestvilleans that's familiar with the Night Zone.
Right,
today,
nice.
That's right. Today on the podcast, we have the Dennis Jenkins, graduate from the class of 1988.
Right, that's right.
So I really, really, really appreciate you doing this for me because I called you at just moment's notice. And I said, hey, Dennis, I'm going to try to do a podcast to bring all of the Forestville Knights, our fellow alumni, to this platform. And you said, hey, I'm there.
Yeah.
10 o'clock in the morning, you were ready to go. So I appreciate you.
Yep. No, thanks for having me.
But what was interesting to me when you sent me your bio, I've been in and out of your life since we graduated.
Yeah.
When did you find time? 2 master's degrees?
Oh, yeah.
2 master's degrees.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
So the first master's degree I obtained or achieved 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just I had some time and thank God for online,
Mm-hmm.
the option to go to school online. That's what made it a little easier for me. Everything was stable. Things were calm, cool, not too much going on at the time. I was still working, my full-time job, of course, still going to church, still doing, as much family stuff as I could. But then during my school tenure, I made sure that I just stayed focused.
But a master's degree.
Yeah.
While life is lifing, you're
writing.
fathering,
Yeah.
you're husbanding,
At
whatever
the time.
that's not a word, husbanding, but I don't get it.
Yeah.
I just don't, how did you carve out the time? And then the second one.
Yeah, so what I did was mainly stay focused.
Mm-hmm.
Stay focused. My family knew what I was doing. My kids knew what I was doing, even incorporating them into my study time. And then even with the second master's degree that I achieved in 2018,
Mm-hmm.
it was the same thing. Being able to stay focused and having the support of the people around you. That helped me to get through it and get finished.
This is me doing a master's degree at home on the computer.
Yeah.
I mean, because do you have an instructor?
Well, so in the online platform, there is an instructor or a professor. They are available. It's not you do the work at your own time, but you have to get that work done within a week. Each week, they got a new module of information that comes out, a new set of reading, new chapters to read, new assignments to complete, new writing, to complete, new research to do each week. They'll open it up on Monday, the platform. You got until Sunday midnight to complete all those assignments per class. And what made it easy for me is I knew that I could only handle 2 classes at a time. There was one semester that I went for 3 classes, and that took me over the edge.
Yes.
I did really bad that semester because it's not up for the teachers or the professors to give you a little bit of work because they know they got, here's another class. No, they still pile it on. You're still required and responsible to get things done. So I had to dial it back to just those 2 classes. And that was more realistic. Sometimes we get away from what's realistic. So I went back to what's realistic, what I knew I could do. So
there's no entertainment, no... What? Yeah, go through it. What you missed?
I missed a lot of family. I missed family vacations.
Wow.
I missed... now, obviously, you can take books and laptops with you and
that's
that kind of thing.
Vacation.
But that's not a vacation because you're still dialed in and you're still plugged in to what you have going on at the time. So, my family knew what I had going on. So, like I said,
interesting.
Yeah, I missed family events, family reunions. I felt bad. But I know that I had a goal that I was trying to achieve.
But so during the time, because we were having a conversation, you had also traveled. So during the time that you were traveling in and out of the country, were you in college then, or that was prior to or after college?
That was after college.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I finished in 2018. Any of my travel around that time was very stretched out.
Okay.
I've only been able to travel that consistent over the past couple of years.
Okay.
And one thing that I didn't tell you is I started to work on my PhD.
Get out.
The end of 2023. But I'm already back on a break I need to revisit and make sure that that's realistic. Because as I started, it felt realistic. I need to revisit whether I really can finish that out.
Okay. So 2018, you finished the second master's degree. You're also an author. Like I said before to myself, that time we had gone on a bus trip to Atlantic City because one of our classmates planned it.
Yeah.
I'm on the bus with a 2-time master's degree earner and an author. Yes. So when did you incorporate that you're now going to write a book?
So you know, the COVID lockdowns back in 2020.
Oh yeah.
I started to God started to speak to me about just different gifts that I had, different talents that things that I wasn't even using. So he showed me my ability to counsel.
Okay.
And that came through a lot of people would always come to me for
advice. Yeah.
And I would always ask kind of like, why people ask me? Why do they think I have these answers? And a lot of times I would make predictions. And then those same people that I predicted that something would happen, they would come back later and say, you know what you predicted, that actually happened. So that inspired me to start doing some writing. So I know one of the books that I said I wanted to write about was something about fathers. And I incorporated a lot of what I went through as a father into that book. And I wanted it to encourage other fathers and also see this, if they're hoping that there was something in that book that would encourage mothers. Mothers that were engaged with these fathers or had to work with these fathers to help raise these children, that kind of thing. So
I think that when men write books, even if it's directed to men, women can get a lot of insight about men.
Yes, I agree.
Because I think that when a woman is having a relationship problem, they go to their girlfriends. Why not go to a man? Why not go to your brother? Why not go to your father? Any man that a woman deems is responsible, an upstanding man, those are the ones that I feel like they should talk to, but they don't. Right. They talk to, and I find in my life, because I have a brother, I have uncles, a lot of my close friends, believe it or not, a lot of my closest friends that I call my best friends are men. Now, other men may not like that, but I have best friends as men because as I listen to them, as I understand, as they talk about their relationships, it gives me better insight on how men think. How can I go to a woman to tell me what you're thinking? She's not even you.
Right.
She doesn't even walk in your shoes or your path.
That's right.
So that's why. So you were writing a book during the COVID shutdown. I was in my basement skating. That was my That was my outlet, my creativity. I moved all the furniture out of the way. Put my skates on. I saw Mike Epps doing it. So I was in my basement practicing how to go backwards and not hit or trip over things.
Right, yes.
Maybe I should have found time.
You could have wrote you a book.
I'm going to write a book on how to skate in the basement during COVID.
And it'd probably get somewhere too.
So when I asked you to join my podcast, I said, do not wear blue or green. You come in here. You just outdid the host.
But this is daily. This is really my Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Some Fridays I may, just go jeans and at work, but most of the time during the week, this is what I wear.
You came ready.
And I was thinking when I look back over, some of the information that you provided for me.
Yeah.
And it said, don't wear blue, don't wear green. I'm like, man. I kind of, so I'm like, well, hey, gray.
But you brought in it, but this was part of our class colors too.
Yes.
I have the class colors on.
And it's nothing like wearing a suit with some tennis shoes.
Yeah, but you had the class colors.
Yes.
So one thing that for me, because I know we're in the same age group, It's been over 30 years.
Oh my gosh.
We may look one way on the outside, but I don't feel like how I look. So because you were in wrestling and football when we was in school, you were part of that varsity team, the class of 86, 87, that made it to the championship. Wasn't it 86, 87 where they went?
It was, 87 is the year we went to the semifinals.
Okay.
And we lost to that out cold. Yes.
Yeah.
That was but the championship year was after we left.
Oh.
That was the 89 class.
Okay.
They actually went to the state.
Oh, okay. I thought we led the way. Okay, so
we almost got there.
Yeah.
Even our last year, we got knocked out the first round. I remember that because I scored a touchdown. I scored a touchdown that game. And it was a sad day because
so
I was
Leslie, you and Leslie were still Leslie Shepard, who later went on to the NFL. You all were still on that team.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! Because what I think about, I was a cheerleader at the time that the class of 86, 87 year, I guess. I was a cheerleader at that time, and I was out there freezing my pants off.
Oh yeah.
And I was wondering, how are you all getting the momentum to go up and down that field, up and down that field? And I'm over here like this, and they want me to say, yeah, go nice. I couldn't.
For us, it was adrenaline because it was freezing that day, and that school didn't really make any provisions for us. Even at halftime, we didn't go inside the building to warm up.
But they did.
They did. So they made no provisions for us to kind of get comfortable and that kind of thing. That they made it hard. I'm not giving that as an excuse because they whipped us, but
still,
it was we had to endure.
Is that normal when you play an away game that the other school doesn't accommodate or let that school into their locker room?
Not as much. It's they usually try to be accommodating. That's a character thing and an integrity thing between the coaches and the staff that can make those decisions. As players, we don't make those decisions.
Wow.
But as staff and administrators and stuff like that, it's like because you have to go away and play at other schools too. So you want to take heed to different things of that nature. You
know how when you're moving up in your career, they always say you should be nice to, try to be nice to everyone because you never know when those people may turn back around and become your boss or your supervisor. That's pretty much what you're saying here. As a handshake between sports teams and coaches, they should make those accommodations for people.
Yes. And you don't want to burn those bridges.
Right. Because now I'm starting to have areas where, and I don't know if it's because of all the things we did as kids, but at 53, sometimes my knees don't want to act right. I love to skate, but sometimes this hip does not want to skate. So I'm thinking you were a wrestler, a football player. You were one of those. See, for you all out there, you probably remember this man here. And if you don't, flip back through the pages of that yearbook. That man was like this in school, had the muscles, had the arms, that flat stomach.
You, being so kind.
And so I'm like, you still coming in here looking pretty much that way.
I'm trying
hard. Because I know I might look like I'm still popping around and bouncing around, but like I said, I'm trying to eat better, get natural foods, different herbs and spices in my food because 53 is just not coming in great.
Look, 53 on the way to 54. Let's not forget that part.
I know. I had, my birthday is really late in the year. So I had someone that's born in our same year said, that's right, we're going to be 58 years of age and I don't know, 2028 or something like that. I said, no, you will. Yeah. I'm going to be 57 still, okay? I'm still going to be 57 because my birthday is so late. I could have started school with the kids that graduated, in 89.
Yeah, I'm the same because I was in November.
See, you're down there with me. I'm December.
Yeah,
So why they going to make it to their rocking chairs before we do?
I hope so.
If we keep living right, we'll never go to that. But I'm just really thankful that you, as soon as I called you, you answered the call because absolutely. I've been in and out of your life. When you do great things, when you authored your book, you let me know. So tell people where they can get a copy of your book.
Well, right now they would have to contact me directly. I did have a website up at the time, and then when the book sales kind of slowed down, I just took the website down. Did that, you got a lot of hackers out there and stuff like that. So when I stopped being active, I just kind of took it down. But they can definitely contact me.
Okay.
I still have a few copies left.
Okay.
Actually, I need to be sending a copy out the next couple of days.
So are you on Facebook for them to contact you, or do you have an email address?
They can contact me. They can contact me on Facebook, Dennis Earl Jenkins Jr. You'll find me. You'll find me in a blue suit. That's my profile picture.
Looking corporate, taking over America.
Yes. And so I do have a few copies still.
That is always your style, though. You always come through. Always gonna, be that person that shows up.
Yes.
I really, really appreciate you. So, as you heard from Dennis Earl Jenkins, he is the author. What's the title of that book?
The title of the book is Fathers Are Made to Stay.
Oh, all right. I love it. So, what are some things that you would have, like knowing who you are now, knowing about life after graduation, being a dad, having kids, if you could look back and speak to your younger self, what are maybe one or two things you would have said to yourself?
Well, I'm try to answer that question the best way possible. One thing I've learned and I've noticed, even just looking at my family, there's a lot of people that went to their graves. There's a lot of book writers that are no longer here.
Wow.
There's a lot of movie producers.
Wow.
That I know, entrepreneurs, business owners that never tapped into what their gifts and what their callings are. And so we all have it. And sometimes we don't feel the motivation. We don't feel like we have the resources. Sometimes you have the wrong people around you that don't support your ideas. And unfortunately, you can't even tell everybody what your goals are, because you have people that think small and don't see the big picture and are unable to think bigger than just themselves.
Right.
So, and this life is short. We don't have time to wait. We've wasted a lot of time. I felt like I wasted a lot of time. But I also, took advantage of some time to, like I said, get the book out. There's other books that I want to write. I haven't done anything towards those books yet, but I want to write a book on relationships. I want to write a book on failed relationships. I want to write a book on relationships that were successful. I want to write. Good idea. Yeah, I want to write on travel. I want to write on long distance relationships. A lot of relationship stuff. I have plenty of relationship experience to be able to write about without even using names. Wow. And without even, I don't want to talk bad about anybody. I have no enemies.
Exactly.
Just staying motivated. A lot of it is like I said, keeping the right people around you, knowing when to let some people go. There's some people that we try to take on the ride with us. But
we want to fix them.
God did not create everybody that we meet to go on the whole entire ride. They're not supposed to be on the journey.
Exactly.
They were supposed to use. There was a season that they come in, and then there's a season where you gotta go. And it's not just relationships. Some of it is friends
or family.
Some of it is family. Family can't even. I'm gonna say a family can't rock with you all the time. You can go to a family reunion, give a couple of family members your ideas. They laugh as if, you're not gonna accomplish that, but that's their small thing. So you got to be able to. I call myself a type of person that thinks outside the box. I may not do everything the traditional way, the way everybody thinks that I should do it. And sometimes I get questioned about, why do you travel so much? So because I like to think outside the box, and I meet people when I travel, or I'm going to meet somebody when I go travel, and I already know who I'm going to meet when I,
So let's dive into that travel. Where have your travels taken you?
Well, so I've been to the Bahamas. Jamaica. St. Lucia.
Okay, I've been there.
And the Philippines.
Oh, not.
And Dubai, like I said, about 10 times.
Okay.
And I actually got a trip to Philippines in June.
Okay.
Coming up. Some places that I want to go. I want to go to Thailand.
Okay.
And I want to go to Japan. And I want to go to Vietnam as well. Southeast Asia. And then a couple more countries over in the Middle East.
Well, you dress really nice. And Vietnam has some really good suit makers there. I was told, and I was like, So I know you.
Yeah,
I know you're gonna come back.
Grab me a suit or two and bring it back or mail it back to myself.
So describe Philippines. When you went there, what was it like? What did you get from it?
So the Philippines is, a lot of people call the Philippines a third world country and that kind of thing, but they do have, there's some areas that are fully developed that we may, a lot of us don't know about. We go by what we see on the internet, what the news produces to us or what they want us to see.
Yes.
But a lot of times you got to go to that country and see for yourself.
Okay.
Now I went, I'm going to say it was a bad season. When I say bad season, it rained the whole time I was there. So I really didn't get a chance to see that much of the country. I saw some of the malls. The malls look just like our malls here.
Okay, I'm impressed.
Yeah, so those are pieces that you don't see on the news. You just see when they have a bad, bad tornado or bad, I don't know if it's a tsunami or when the rain, bad floods.
Right.
That's what our news shows us about those countries. But it's a nice country, and I've been around different people from the Philippines. Okay. And I used to work with somebody from the Philippines. And they are very hospitable people. I
want their food.
Their food is good.
I want the food.
Because I found a couple of Filipino restaurants here.
Okay, so you're going to have to leave that, or we're going to have to put that online. Because I want to eat better. And that's my reason for wanting to go to the Philippines. Like, I visited Dubai before, too. Natural foods. You can smell the food in the grocery store. Here, we don't smell our food anymore. Everything is waxed and processed.
The unfortunate part about that, and I'm going to kind of go to the left a little bit. Each time, we won't go too far into why this happens, but each time I've gone to another country, I lose weight over there, and I eat.
Right.
And I eat a lot while I'm away.
But you know what that is.
It's something, but
because our food food is not really processed over there. It's a lot more natural.
Yes. And even each time I've gone to Dubai, I've come back about 10 pounds lighter. And sometimes my stay in Dubai may be 4 to 5 days.
Then you know what? We need to move. We need to pack up and move. I'm serious. Vietnam, the Philippines, Dubai, we need to move.
Yeah, because most of their food is natural.
Yeah.
A lot of those people grow their own food, and that's what they eat. They're not they don't get everything from the store like we do. We rely on our stores a little bit too much. I know that's a whole another sermon, another conversation, but
so I'm gonna put a little piece in there. When I was a little girl, and I don't know if you've ever heard of Wason's Corner.
I have,
but so they used to have weekend markets there, and you could smell the fresh fruit. You could just smell everything. And I remember thinking, as a little kid, I'm laying in the back seat. Do we have to go to the market? I'm tired of going to the market, or helping my grandparents in the fields. Picking greens now.
Fresh food. Yep.
Miss it. So you told what you would have said to your younger self. And as you stated, there are a lot of people in your family that could have been authors, filmmakers, all of that. Yeah. So what would you say since you have that counseling field or background, if you were speaking to someone that was right at those impressionable years, maybe 14 through 18, what would you share with them about their dreams or aspirations?
One thing that they have to be able to embrace and also be in touch with is what their passion is. Okay. A lot of us were born, we all were born with something. We all were born with talents. And sometimes people don't even know that that's what they were gifted to do. Right. Like singing. Okay, I grew up a singer. I grew up singing. Yeah, I grew up singing.
Serious?
Yes, I grew up singing in a children's choir at my old church, and I learned throughout the years singing was actually my passion.
Hold on, I think I'm having a memory. When I visited you at church one time, were you in the choir then?
I probably was.
I think so. When I'm thinking back, I remember when you invited me to church that time, you said you will not be,
sitting in the congregation.
Right. Yeah. I'm glad you gave me that word. I was like, what is it called? When you're not on the
congregation. I probably was up there singing.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it was a church over in Temple Hills.
Yes.
Temple Hills. Yeah, I sang at that church for years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, when I left that church just before the COVID lockdowns, and I was at a location in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and at that time I was actually the ministry head of the praise team. You know, I had to come up with the songs for Bible study every week. I had to come up with the songs for Sunday service every week. That was a tough job, tough task. Didn't get paid for it, which is fine. But it kind of filled my heart.
If I was coming up with the song, we would have been singing, Lord, help me to hold out every time. Lord, help me to hold out.
I'm telling you.
I would have had that every time.
Yeah, it was a good season though, and I really embraced it.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. And just back to your original question, just for even the teenagers. I have a young teenager.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter, my youngest, she's 16.
Oh wow!
And we were talking on the way here. As a matter of fact, hey, what are you going to do when you go away to school? And she's like, well, it's kind of too soon. I said, no, you're a sophomore, so we need to be talking about that. On the way back, you're going to put your phone in the glove compartment, and we're going to have a conversation. She said, well, Dad, I don't know. I said, well, I'm going to help you. I'm going to start to just ask questions and just start to pull some of that out of you so that you can at least keep that in your mind and just start thinking about it. So just what we're passionate about, that's what we should be shooting for.
But I wish that when we're giving our children or other people's kids this advice, we could still make it fun. And the reason why I say that, when we were in high school, there was the pep rallies, all the games. I did not participate in anything until the 11th grade. Yeah. I was on the student government association or student council. I didn't do anything. And like you said, life is so short. High school went by and I was just so into my academics that I didn't combine any fun. And in 12th grade, my breakout year, I decided, because you all used to always put your football numbers in the fence by balling up the paper. In that year, I said, nope, it's about me. Yeah. I balled up my paper and I stuffed the fence until I made the name Brenda. I later got in trouble for it, but
troublemaker.
I know, right? But when you're giving that advice to your daughter, are you still helping her to embrace her teen years in high school, or is it all about just the academics? Because when do we get to have fun in our life?
Yeah, so I'm considered like a strict parent.
Okay.
Although I don't think that I am. My daughter, she's 16. I think I put my hands on her one time. One time. So, but I try to talk to her a lot though. And as I say, I say things like, you guys go out too much. My daughter has a lot of friends. Somebody's birthday is every weekend. And almost every weekend that she's with me, she went, Dad, what are we doing this weekend? If I say nothing, me and my friends, we want to go, and they got plans. I said, how? People don't have no money, no car. But how do y'all make all these plans? So I try to make sure she gets that opportunity for that social aspect of life, even with her friends. It's very normal for me to have my daughter, and one of her friends in the car. Right. As a matter of fact, I picked her up from school yesterday. She called me when I got there. Dad, can we take my friend home? I was like, sure. Okay. They talked the whole time, so she gets that. When there's a carnival, she said, hey, Dad, what we do? I let her go. So she gets all of that. And I told sometimes I do say, hey, save some of that for college. Right. You'll do all this in college too. Right. And this time you'll have the freedom to make the decision to do it. Right. And you won't have to ask for permission once you get to college. But she definitely gets that social aspect of life, and she gets to hang out with her friends a lot. I'm glad. Yeah. I don't keep her away because and I always think about myself. Yeah. When I was coming up, I was always out. If it wasn't football season or and
you turned out normal. I turned out normal.
Hey, my parents were worried. They were worried, but they see me talk about it all the time. Like, well, you turned out all right. Because I was always in the street. I always had the education. Yes, that was first, but I also made sure I hung out with my friends.
Do you feel that even though you still have one more that you have to get through college, do you feel you were a good parent?
Yes. Okay. I was a good parent with challenges.
Okay. Yes, okay. I like that, with challenges.
With challenges, yes. Okay. So I don't know if you knew my oldest daughter.
I think that's the only one I know.
I raised her as a single dad.
That's the one I remember.
Yes, and I had a lot of help from several different women. Okay. My mom helped. My sister helped, and my grandmother while she was alive.
I do remember you had a sister.
Yes, and then I had a friend, a female friend, who was dating one of my friends. She came in and helped me as well. So that was. I enjoyed that. I embraced it. I was a new parent, a new dad. I didn't know what I was doing. I was dressing her like a little boy, with jeans, Jordans, leather jackets, every. And so my friends, she said, look, you can't dress her like that. I was like, well, I don't know any better. You know, she was like, well, we're going to help you.
Okay.
And so they taught me she taught me how to do hair.
Okay.
She taught me how to dress my daughter. I would give her money. She would go to the mall, go get clothes, bring it back. She showed me how to get the bows and barrettes. She'd keep it in a bucket. And she said,
That's what we do.
First pull out her clothes for the day. And then match the bows and the barrettes with the clothes, the color coordinate.
Yes.
Then she showed me how to do parts.
Yes.
Work your parts and, start to develop what
you may need to help me. See, I had a boy because I didn't play with dolls, so that was not in me.
She showed me how to do parts. And
that
then,
is awesome.
then my parents, like I said, my mom, my dad helped too, my sister and my grandmother, they would, if I had stuff I needed to do, they were like, look, you don't have to take her everywhere you go. I said, well, I don't know no better. So I just take her with me everywhere I go. I said, if I can take her to work, I'll take her to work too.
Yeah.
They're like, no, the weekends, it's okay to take a breather. You are a full-time dad. You're doing this every day. As a matter of fact, I was working 2 and 3 jobs to raise my oldest daughter. Yeah, I was working. There was times I was working 3 jobs at a time to make sure we had food on the table. There was times that I'm driving down the road. I pick her up from school. We don't have time to sit down at home and eat. And I may stop at McDonald's and get her some food. And she in the back seat, in a car seat, I'm feeding as we driving.
Yes.
So I was, I used to get Mother's Day cards. And I'm like, look, I'm not a mother. That part is missing. But I'm doing the best I can as a father. But I have, and I don't want to take away from everybody else, and I'm not taking all the credit. I had a lot of women around me.
That's good.
Some were for good, and some were just trying to get close to me.
Right.
Well, we're gonna.
What better way?
Let me do it. I had people come over and do her hair, and 8 hours later, I'm like,
why are you still here?
It don't take 8 hours to do some braids, does it? So but I embraced all of that, and then I knew there was some mistakes that I made. I allowed for my oldest daughter. I allowed a couple of the wrong women around.
Okay.
The women that they were just trying to get to me, but they didn't really care for her.
Right.
So when my daughter became an adult, my oldest, I apologized to her one day.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said,
that's big. That's
big. I said, I know I wasn't a perfect dad.
I
said, I did the best I could. And then I said, I just want to apologize for anything that I did.
I had to do that with my son. Yeah.
Or anything that happened to you when you were younger that I could have, changed that narrative.
So do you think you apologizing to your daughter is a new school parent thing because the mom I had, the dad I had, and I love my mom dearly, but they do not admit or apologize for anything. This is what they say. I did the best I could for you. I sacrificed. You will not get an apology. And I apologize to my son. I raised him on what I knew. Like when you talked about don't tell everyone your dreams because they might just be a sourpuss. Yeah. I did that to my son. He was telling me that one day he wanted to create a hover car. And I was like, a hover car? And what is going to hover? What is it going to hover over? And then I caught myself. God told me don't do that. Yeah. Now they're inventing hover trains that hover above the tracks. Yep. So, for you, why do you think you apologize? Because our parents didn't do that. Or did your parent do that?
No, my parents don't feel like they needed to apologize. Now, what I will say is I sometimes I'm almost afraid to talk about my childhood. Me, my sister, and my brother, we talk about our childhoods together. And we feel like we can't share it with everybody. We feel like we had like the perfect childhood. And that's not everybody's story. So even for my oldest daughter, I felt like I needed to apologize because I felt like there was something on the inside of her that needed to be released. And so
oh my God. Okay, I see the counseling. Hold on. Something needed to be released.
Yes. So when I apologized, I can remember like it was yesterday. We were riding, we were in King George and we were riding up Route 3, that long road. And it just came to me, God just placed it on my heart. Apologize to her, set her free from something. And so when I apologized, it had to feel good to her because that whole day changed. And she actually said, thank you. And she said, and I allowed her some time to talk.
That's a book.
Yes,
And that's a book. When you
Yeah.
said writing a book about relationships, what about father-daughter relationship?
Yeah, that is a book. And
That's
some people
a
have wrote, but
book.
there's still plenty of material that can be developed because you can go broad. You can write about your own story, because we all have a story, right? And so that day, it just set my daughter free. And she was, I said, now, you may not get an apology from your mom, but I can't speak on her behalf. I don't speak bad about her to you. I said, the only thing I can do is speak on my behalf as
This
your,
is
as your father.
big.
So she was, her whole behavior, her whole attitude changed that day.
This is big.
Yeah.
That is so big.
So we have a pretty good relationship. I don't, I got 5 grandkids. My oldest had 5 kids.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I got 5.
I remember
grandkids.
her when she was little, but I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I just
That's your heritage, your lineage right there.
Yeah. And I usually have to fly out to go see them, and I did see them. I went out there for Christmas, 2023.
So where's out there?
She's there in South Carolina.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they were in Kansas City for a little bit. When she got old enough to move out, she moved out and did her thing. She's been back and forth a few times because even as an adult, when she had her first child, she came back and lived with me for a little bit, and I try to encourage her. Hey, stay here for work out a 1-year plan. And I know you want to get back to Kansas City at that time. That was 2016. I said, I know you want to get back to Kansas City. I said, but give yourself a 1-year plan. I said, talk to some people. If you're going back out there, talk to some people. Get yourself established.
Yes.
Don't just move back out there because the child's father is begging you to go back. And so she went a little premature, but she was an adult. And
but I like your support and the advice and the guidance you give to her.
Yeah, because I didn't want her to feel like it was a rush, but I wanted her to have a focus. To give yourself a year.
Right.
1 year when January 1st gets here, it seemed like it's a long time away to the next year. But these years, as we get older, just going so fast.
Yeah.
Yesterday we were like in our 20s. Today we're in our 50s.
So
it's kind of like I told her, work out a year, start working out a plan. And when you go back, I don't want to put too much of my daughter out there, but I just gave her some advice.
Yeah.
And
but it's good that she still has you to come to because some parents, believe it or not, they're not that close with their children. Yeah. When my mom, as her health was declining, and my brother and I was taking care of her, running her back and forth to appointments, she actually was in those units with women. They had no relationship with their kids, don't even know where they were. So for you to be a dad, and one reason why this is important for me to have you on this platform speaking about these things, because society will lead us to believe that fathers are inactive in their children's lives. They never disclose or talk about, sometimes women prevent fathers from being fathers.
That's true.
And so for you to be able to raise your daughter, and then you're very active in your second daughter's life.
Oh, yeah.
That is a testimony. And I think your message need to be out here even more. There are a lot of fathers.
Yes.
If you watch reels on YouTube or Facebook, like you were talking about parting the hair and learning to do hair, there's so many fathers out there that are starting to show themselves with their children and how important, because they would make us think in America that your daughter is not important to you.
Right.
Neither one of your daughters.
Right.
And they are. And then when they go on to choose the men in their lives, women don't know this, but they have to have men in their lives to help them choose their men. Because you can look through another man and know if we still make the decision to move on with that person, the only thing you can say is, I gave you that information.
Yeah, just speaking to that point, I have a slogan that I like to use. Men know men, women know women. That's why it's like it's always good to whenever like let's say a daughter is getting ready to date, or she's got a male figure that she's getting ready to start getting close to. It's good that she let the dad or another strong male that she's close to sit with them, not counsel them, but just
have a conversation.
Just have a conversation. That man, in about maybe an hour, that man can tell you whether that man is really serious about you.
Exactly.
And when I was talking about earlier, when I was talking about the different advice and some of the predictions that I made, it was those type of things that I had women coming to me saying, how do I know if he's serious about me. And I would tell them what to do. I would say, hey, do this. And just give it some time. You'll know whether he's serious about you or not.
Right.
Do you think that there's a chance between this person and that, me and him? And I would tell them, I think y'all have a chance. So I would tell them, he's not serious about you. And I had a close relative, a female relative that I said, he's not into you. It was a tough pill for her to swallow because she was really into that guy. But I told her, I said, I can look at him and tell, I said, he's not into you. I said, I know that look.
Right.
I have given that look to people before.
Right.
But I knew, but see, I was a little different. I was upfront.
Right.
You know, when I wasn't ready to settle down with folks, I said, hey, I'm just meeting people.
And that's what we really need more people to just be upfront about their intentions. Yeah. So in closing, do you have a favorite affirmation or something? And I hope you do. I want to back up for a second. I hope you do write more books, because just you getting passionate about this last conversation, it needs to be put out there. Yeah. And I hope to be able to invite you back, and maybe we can discuss that on the platform the next time. But is there, if you had any type of affirmation that you live by or something you would share to, whether it's to boys, girls, men, or women, do you have like just that?
Pursue your dreams. Pursue your dreams. Oftentimes, we get caught checking with other people to see what they think about our dream. I think I mentioned it before. You're going to have people in your circle that's going to say that's not a good idea. But pursue your dreams. Pursue those things that you're passionate about, because what you're passionate about, you're going to be intentional about. And you're going to stick with it, and you're going to do everything it takes to reach that goal. Yeah. To get into what your passion is. And you'll do it for a long time. And you'll enjoy
enjoy it.
You know what I mean? So that's what I have.
So again, repeat the title of your book and let everyone know how to contact you.
So the title of my book is Fathers Are Made to Stay. And you can reach me on Facebook. My handle is Dennis Earl Jenkins Jr. And you can inquire about the book on my Facebook page.
All right. And we're going to close out. Our fellow Forestvilleans out there, you have just been to the Night Zone. Join us again. Thank you.
Encourage us to create more content. Subscribe and click on the like button. Oh yeah, don't forget to turn on notifications for new videos.